everybody, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, then hi, my name is Caitlin. Welcome. Today is going to be such a long video. Oh my god, I hope you're ready. I hope you're prepared. I hope you have a drink, because today I'm going to be swatching every single duochrome eyeshadow in my makeup collection. So I have over 700 eyeshadows, and so obviously a lot of those are going to be duochromes and multichromes and special kind of shades. I am going to do this video in two halves. It's going to be one video, but it's going to have two halves. The first half is going to be duochromes in palettes, and then the second half is going to be single eyeshadows, so like my beautiful indie duochromes and things like that. I will have chapters down below in the kind of cursor part, I don't know what it's called, but I will have chapters. If you just want to see the indie duochromes, you can skip forward. That's fine, I won't be offended. Some of these are pretty weak duochromes, some of these are super strong duochromes. Maybe you may not even think it's a duochrome at all. You're gonna have to let me know down in the comments. Also, let me know what your favorite duochrome is that I swatched today, because I would love to know. But just before we do jump into the video, if you have not already, definitely like and subscribe, because it would mean the world to me. I love duochromes and indie shadows and super sparkly things. It makes me so happy. So yeah, I thought I'd do a swatch party for you today, and I hope you enjoy it. So these two little things are actually my tripod, and this is actually the corner of my laptop. It has been pushed as far as it can go, so hopefully those won't annoy you, but let's jump into it. Okay, so the first palette I'm going to talk about is the She Glam Chromazone palette, and this is the duochrome in this. So these shades are not named, but it is the 6th shade in this palette, and as you can see, it is like a blue to goldy greeny shade. It is so beautiful. It's got more of that kind of smooth texture to it. It's not got that like super glittery texture. It's just very, very smooth, and as you can see, very, very shifty. Next we have my Huda Beauty Khaki Haze palette, and the duochrome in this palette is this pink shade here. This is a pink to yellow duochrome, and again, it doesn't have that super shimmery, sparkly texture to it. It is definitely more smooth. It has taken up quite a lot of building up there, but hopefully you can see that beautiful shift. It's kind of pinky there and then goes to an orange. Okay, next we have a bunch of ColourPop palettes. So this is the High Tide palette, and I'm going to talk about this shade Muscle Beach. I'm actually not a fan of this shade. It is my least favorite shade in the whole palette. But this is meant to be another duochrome, and it's meant to be a very dark blue to brown. I don't like it at all. Again, it's not very sparkly. I don't think shades have to be sparkly to be like a beautiful duochrome, but this I just find very, very weak, and I personally don't gravitate towards super dark shimmers. So I don't know, is this a shade that you enjoy? It's not really something that I gravitate towards. If you've been here a while, you will know my beef with the Baroque palette, but this is the duochrome. It is the shade Noble, and it's one of those blue to brown shades. I think you have to do a very, very special blue to brown to be able to get my attention. It takes a lot, I'm not gonna lie, and this shade just does not do it for me personally. I'll build it up a little bit more. I do like these shades to have more blue in it, so I don't know, we're not starting with very good ones, are we? Next is the It's My Pleasure from ColourPop, and I'm gonna swatch Mr. Sandman down here. So this shade is almost like a grey to purple. I'm not sure if many people would see this as a duochrome, but honestly, I think it is. It's like a grey to purple to almost like a red. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see it on camera there. I think you are. It is really stunning. Definitely not something that I would personally gravitate towards. You guys may know I am more of that super glittery, shimmery blue kind of girl, but it's definitely a really pretty shade. It is more on the subtle side, I think. So we're sticking with Colourpop, and this is my Frozen 2 Elsa palette, and we're going to swatch Northern Lights here. This is a stunning shade. This is definitely more up my street. It is definitely a lot lighter, which is great for me. Northern Lights is the perfect shade name for this because it has all of the Northern Lights colors in it. It's got a pink base with almost like a yellowy, greeny blue shift to it. I'm hoping you're seeing that absolute beautifulness on camera there. Next is the Honey, and I know a lot of people would not count this as a duochrome, but you know what? I'm gonna include it anyway. This is Sunburst, and it is a yellow, but it's got a slight blueness to it. It's really, really unique. I'm gonna swatch that there. I'm not sure if you're gonna be able to see the blue shifts in it. I wouldn't call it a shift. It's more like an undertone, possibly. It is quite difficult to see on camera, but it is very, very special. It is very unique. I think it is gorgeous. So yeah, I'm maybe pushing the boat out a little bit there, calling it a duochrome, but I wanted to include it anyway. And this is the Main Squeeze palette from Colourpop, and I'm gonna swatch this shade, Juicy Fruits. This is such an underrated gem. This is like a red to kind of orangey kind of duochrome. So these shades in my collection are quite old, so I'm gonna have to swatch them quite a bit. I'm hoping you can see that red to orange kind of flip. I think it's a really nice, subtle shade. If you're looking for something like that, definitely pull this palette out of your collection because it is a stunner. I do neglect that palette, not gonna lie. Okay, that's it for Colourpop palettes. So this is the newest palette in my collection. This is the NYX Ultimate Vintage Jean Baby. I got this for my birthday, early September. And I think this is a little bit of a duochrome. It's what I call a drugstore duochrome, okay? It's kind of, it's pretty weak, you know? It's not like these indie, super shimmery, sparkly shades, but it does have something to it. This is what it looks like. Yeah, here swatched out, you can definitely see it is a duochrome. It has that kind of purpley brown reflect to it. This kind of blue brown is definitely more my speed than something like this blue brown. You can see this is very, very reddy brown, and this is very, very blue with that kind of like purpley slight shift to it. I don't know, would you class this as a duochrome? It definitely has a higher shine than most of the other shades as well. So that is definitely what I look for in a duochrome, the shine and the sparkle. I really love that. Next is my P. Louise Winter Wonderland, and P. Louise have recently become Leaping Bunny approved, which is amazing. So I'm going to swatch this shade. Oh my god, can you see that? Snow in Love. Wow. This is a truly special shade. Look at that. It is like a purple with a blue-green shift. That is stunning. Look at that. That is a true duochrome. Absolutely gorgeous. That is something that I just want to smother all over my eyes right now. Oh my goodness me. Gorgeous. Next is such a throwback. This is Subculture, and this is probably one of the first duochromes on the market, I want to say. It's this shade down here called Electric, and honestly, I have put off using this so many times because I just love the shade so much. You guys may know I am a project panner, but I just don't want to pan this shade. I don't want to use this shade because it's too beautiful. It is like a neon green to kind of gold. It's definitely more subtle than I think we all thought it was when it first came out. Now that we've been treated to true indie duochromes, this is a little bit lackluster, but still, it is so beautiful. It kind of reminds me of this first shade that we swatched, but this definitely has more blue in it. This is so good. It's still gorgeous. I think anyone who doesn't like the subculture, oh, we're not gonna get on. I'm joking. Obviously, I'm joking. The subculture has, you either love it or hate it, don't you? But I love it 100%. I adore it so much. And this shade is so special, even now. Next is a neglected palette in my collection, and it's gonna make my screen so dark. But I'm going to talk about this shade. This is the Revolution Night and Day palette, and it is a dupe for a Pat McGrath palette. So I've never owned Pat McGrath. I can't say anything about that quality and how it compares. I'm going to take it off the screen just because it was making my screen very dark. So this was, again, one of those, you can see, look, oh, wow. Yeah, not very pigmented, that, is it? Let's try and build it up a little bit. This is supposed to be one of those blue-brown shades. Again, this is like 4 layers, and it's still not the best. It's not the most pigmented. It's just not there, is it? I think we can move on from this. This is definitely on the chopping block. I will most likely say goodbye to that palette in December during Vlogmas when I decide to do my big palette declutter. So stick around for that because that's going to be so exciting. This is a palette that gets neglected, and I'm so sad that it does because the shimmers in this palette, let me just, oh my god, the shimmers are out of this world. And this Blue Star is a duochrome. I think the duochrominess, it could be better. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't actually notice that this was a duochrome for the longest time, and it actually took me watching a review of this to realize that it actually was a duochrome. It's very, very high shine, as you can see, compared to all the other shades on my arm. This is probably the highest shine shade. And I think you can see there is a little bit of a duochrominess coming across there on camera, but it's not the most incredible impactful. I think it's kind of a better version of this shade here. What do you think? This was the NYX shade, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, it's just a very good version of that, and maybe a bit more blue than teal. I'm not sure. Next, we have my beautiful Book of Magic. Look at her. She's gorgeous. And of course, we're going to swatch the shade Crystal. This is just such a beautiful shade. It is like one of those green to brown duochromes. It has a very soft base to it, but it's almost like Electric's grungy sister, I feel like. This is Electric, this is Crystal. It also reminds me of the first shade that we swatched a little tiny bit. The Chromosome palette is definitely brighter, but Crystal has, I don't know, a little bit of something to it. It is definitely beautiful. It's probably one of my most neglected shades in that whole palette, to be honest, which isn't good. Isn't good. I should definitely use that more. Next, we have my Wilderness palette, and I'm not sure if this counts as a duochrome, but I am going to swatch this shade Ocean, as well as the shade Ray. Ray does have a little bit of something to it, so I'm going to swatch both of those. So I'm going to go Ocean here. Ocean definitely has a bit of yellow and almost green in it as well. It is kind of like a purple. I don't know, it's definitely more purple than, say, this shade here. So yeah, I'd say it's like a cool tone purple with kind of a greeny shift. And then Ray, I'm going to swatch next to it. These are so soft. Is that a duochrome? I'm not sure if I would class that as a duochrome. Maybe very, very slightly. I'm not too sure on that one. And then finally, I have my Bella Pierre All Stars palette. There are actually a few duochromes in here. So I'm going to have to go by memory, but this shade definitely is. They aren't named shades, but this, as you can see, is like a purple to kind of gold. I'm pretty sure this is, I think. And I think this shade is as well. Is this one a duochrome? Let me check. Yeah, I think that one is a slight duochrome as well. So I'm going to swatch these. Okay, I'm running out of space, but this is our last palette. So look at these. So we have that first shade. This is gorgeous. I love this. It's kind of like a taupe to pink. Then we have this green. It does have a slight bit of a blue shift. I'm hoping you can see there. To be honest, I think that red is just a red. And then that final purple does have a slight kind of blue, baby blue, browny kind of shift as well. So I'm hoping you can see that. And they are all my Duochromes in palettes. So you can see there, so beautiful, so sparkly, so shimmery. Let me wipe this off and then we will move to my beautiful single shadows. Okay, we have a clean arm and I'm going to start with my two Duochrome Super Shock shadows from Colourpop. So first I have Ice Dream. This is such a beauty. This is like a blue to kind of purpley, pinky kind of shade. It is so impactful. I'm hoping you can see it is so hard to show this shade on camera, but I am hoping, I don't think you are going to be getting any of that beautifulness, but trust me when I say it is stunning. And then I also have Moonwalk, which is one of those classic green to brown kind of shades. So that's that one swatched there. You can see that flip is so beautiful. Love it. That definitely reminds me of the Subculture palette as well. I think Electric was just slightly brighter than this. This is definitely more of like a bit of a grungier shade, I think. Okay, this is a little yellow palette that I have, and I'm going to be swatching this shade in the center. This is Sunlight from the Pastel Roses. This is an electric green to orange, and I think if we like layered this on top of Moonwalk, that would be the perfect electric dupe. But I just think this is so stunning to put over pretty much any eyeshadow look, any warm eyeshadow look anyway, and oh, stunning. This is my No Pan Left Behind palette, and we have two Duochromes in here. So this, I think, yeah, this is Venus, and this is a classic red to orange. So that is that shade for you there. You can see the slight orange hint to it on the edges. Super bright, super vibrant. And then the other one is Frosty, which is this blue shade. And that is a blue to yellow. That is a bit of me. Look at that. I'm hoping you can see the yellow hint in this. I love this. This is probably one of my favorite shades in my collection. Not gonna lie. Can you please see this yellow? I'm really hoping you can, because it has my heart. It really has. Okay, this is like a miscellaneous palette. This is my old Soph Revolution palette. I did do a whole video repressing this palette if you wanted to see. If you did miss that, I will link it up in the cards above for you, but that was a super fun little project to do. There are no Duochromes in this half. However, all of this row and these two are actually Duochromes. So we're gonna have a great time with this palette. So I'm going to go down this row and then probably down here as well. These two are not Duochromes. They are just like a silver kind of shades. So let's go. This shade is Lilac, and it is one of those kind of magenta to blue. Oh my god. It's very similar to that P. Louise shade, I think. These shades are my newest shades in my collection. So most of these I haven't even put on my eyes yet. And honestly, I need to, because look at that. That is beautiful. It's quite a sheer base, actually. I have layered it up quite a lot, but it's very, very smooth. It's one of those super smooth Duochromes, and I love it. Next is the shade Zoe Sight. This looks to be like, oh wow, it is like a teal to like purpley pink. These are from the Pastel Roses, by the way. You guys know the Pastel Roses is probably one of my favorite brands of all time. So that is that one there. Hopefully you can see that slight pink shift to it. In person, it is definitely very, very strong. It is very hard to show Duochromes on camera, unfortunately, so I'm trying my best. Oh, this one has stained my finger. Look at that. I might have to change to a different finger. Wow, look at that. Ooh, this is Nectarine. This is more of a neutral shade, but it is still a duochrome. Look at that. This is like an orange to green. Oh, stop. Look at that. That was one swipe. That is so stunning. This is probably the most shimmery out of the ones that we've swatched so far. I love. Next we have Starlight. So I have actually nearly finished a Starlight, so it's nice to have a repeat shade. They actually sent me that one for free. All 4 of these have been sent to me for free. So this shade, this shade, this shade, and this shade were sent to me very, very kindly. I'm so grateful. But Starlight is definitely one of my favorite shades, and my original is beaten and bruised. It's got the biggest pan in it, so yeah, it's so nice to have a repeat shade for that one. This is like a kind of yellow to pink, but the yellow almost has a bit of a greeniness to it. So, oh my god, so gorgeous. And then we have Prism from the Pastel Roses. This takes my breath away every time. This is, I think, a multi-chrome. I don't really get many of the multi-chromes from the Pastel Roses because obviously they are a lot more expensive, but I did treat myself to this, and honestly it is what dreams are made of. So that is it there. I'm hoping it's coming across on camera. So it's kind of like purple here to kind of green to orange at the very, very end. Absolutely breathtaking, so shimmery, so bright. I really like the duochromes that have a very, very bright flip to it. So you can see the purple here is quite dark, and then it just flips so bright and light and airy and beautiful. That is what I look for. Okay, this is not the Pastel Roses, shock horror. This is MBA Cosmetics, and this is How You Doing. So I actually did a full review of quite a lot of MBA Cosmetics. If you missed it, I'll link it in the cards above. But this, as you can see, is like a cool tone pink to yellow. It's not as shimmery and shiny, but you can definitely see the flip there. This is so stunning. I need to use my MBA Cosmetics more because I have quite a few of them. I did buy a bundle to review, and they are Halloween themed, so definitely coming into season. And that is all the duochromes from this palette. Okay, next we have this bad boy. I actually reorganized this over a month ago, but the video has only just gone live because I kept pushing it back because so many things were getting in the way. I had a lot of birthday hauls and things like that. If you wanted to see me reorganize my whole single eyeshadow collection, I'll link that in the cards as well because it was so satisfying, and we actually organized all of this beautiful palette. So the duochromes down here are these 3. They are very, very similar, so it'll be interesting to compare them. So first we have Jupiter from the Pastel Roses. This feels very, very smooth. Then we have Bugs and Kisses from MBA Cosmetics. And then the third one is Apparition from MBA Cosmetics. So you can see here they are very similar shades, but they're like different takes on the same shade, if that makes sense. So let's swatch them and see how different they are. So first we have Jupiter. This is very, very similar to Moonwalk from Colourpop, but this does have a little bit more of a brown shift to it. Then we have Bugs and Kisses, which is definitely more green, but then when you blend it out, it is very, very similar. And then we have Apparition, which is that shade there. One of the things I did say in my MBA Cosmetics review is that these 2 shades probably didn't have to be in the same bundle because I did only buy one bundle. So all of my MBA Cosmetics shades are from that one bundle. These are very, very similar. I think this shade Apparition has a slightly stronger flip to it, but overall, very, very similar shades. Oh, I just moved my arm under the light. This actually has a red flip to it. I'm hoping you can see that there. So this is actually a red flip, and then this is more of a brown flip. So that's what the difference is. Okay, I'm going to go to my next layer of this. So this is the only duochrome here. This is Teddy Bear from the Pastel Roses. This is a very neutral kind of orange to yellow. It is so stunning. That is what that one looks like. Can you see the flip? It is so hard to show these on camera, guys. I'm trying my best. Maybe you can see it on my finger more clearly. There, can you see it there? Kind of like an orange to yellowy, shifty kind of shade. But this is definitely a more neglected shade. I do need to use it more because it is beautiful. I have been working on a lot of cool tones though, so hopefully this can have the chance to shine very, very soon. The next layer is more pinky shades. So there are quite a few duochromes. This is a duochrome, this is a duochrome, this is a duochrome, this is a duochrome, and then these two are duochromes as well. So let's go through these. So first is Marshmallow from the Pastel Roses, and this is actually one of my first shades from them. And honestly, it's still a favorite. This is a pink to yellow shade, and it's one of those really smooth duochromes. That is what that looks like. It's very much like a fun inner corner. It does remind me of that Huda Beauty shade that we swatched from the Khaki Haze palette, if you remember, all the way from like 10 million years ago at the start of this video. I think the shift is coming across a little bit there. You can see the kind of yellowiness on this side compared to the bright pink. Next we have the Pastel Roses Dreamcatcher, and these are definitely more my kind of duochromy jam, I guess. This is a mauve to blue duochrome. You can see that really, really vibrantly there. That is not an issue to swatch at all. I feel like a lot of these, you're kind of like struggling to see the flip, but that one is so strong. It is stunningly beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. So this is my original Starlight. As you can see, there is a pan in here. I've just expanded it a little bit. How fun. So which one was I think this one was Starlight. It is slightly different, I think. I think they might have changed the formula a little bit. Oh, but now I'm looking at it on camera. No, I don't. These two are apparently the same shade. I feel like this one has more green in it. Or am I just... No, maybe not. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think these look the same shade? I'll add another little layer of this one. There you go. What do you think? No, I think they are the same. I'm not sure. I can never tell. What do you guys think? This is the Pastel Roses Sakura. I am running out of room on my arm now, but this is such a stunning pink to blue. That is so beautiful. You can definitely see the shift on that one. This I started playing around with just as the Barbie movie was coming out, and I'm not a Barbie girl, okay? I'm not this pink princess, but honestly, I felt so on brand when I wore this, that this is such a Barbie shade. If you're looking for that like super girly pink kind of look, Sakura from the Pastel Roses, absolutely out of this world. Look at that. Oh, gorgeous. Okay, I think I'm gonna have to start swatching here because I do not have any more room on my arm. So we have two very similar shades here. This is Red Wine from the Pastel Roses, and I feel like the Pastel Roses, their older shadows have more of this like smooth texture to them. So you can see there, it definitely has a orange flip, as you can see. And then this is NBA Cosmetics Wicked Ways. Very topical for this time of year. This is definitely more purple. Yeah, it's definitely more purple with like a reddy kind of shift for sure. But they are very, very similar. I will give it them. But yeah, slight undertone differences. Okay, that's it for the pink section. So now let's go up here to this kind of purpley, neutrally kind of section. So I think we only have one. No, we have two Duochromes here, I'm pretty sure. So we have this shade, which is Very Peri, and this shade, which is J Star, which I'm actually not even going to swatch because I don't want to promote him. So this is Very Peri from the Pastel Roses. You can see it in focus there. I'm so sorry. My fingers are getting so grubby. But this is like a periwinkle to yellow. That is what that one looks like there. Super high shine. This is what I love from the Pastel Roses. High shine, beautiful, duochrome goodness. So stunning. Okay, that is it for this massive book of singles, and we only have one more palette left, guys. Honestly, I've been procrastinating this video because I thought it was going to be so long, and I'm still kind of ill, so I'm so happy that we've got to the end of this in the best way possible. Okay, guys, in the best way. I love swatching all my Duochromes, but I'm still super ill. It is ridiculous. Okay, so let's start with this shade. I think this is the first Duochrome. This is Marooned from the Pastel Roses. You can tell that a lot of my single shadows are the Pastel Roses. And this is a blue to purple duochrome. It's quite a thin shade. It doesn't like have like a bunch of like pigment to it. It's definitely more of a topper. So that is that one swatched out there. I'm hoping you can see the purple. It's not the most reflective. You can definitely miss it if you're not looking for it. I think on my finger, it's definitely more purple. I promise that's not just all the muck and dirt that is on my finger. Look how disgusting my hand looks. Oh my God. This does have a slight purple hint to it. Can you see? I'm not sure. Oh, it's so difficult. This is the shade Fabulous from NBA Cosmetics. You can see there. So on theme. I'm so happy that I'm swatching all of these in October. It's getting me in the mood for spooky season. This is honestly, I would say, quite a weak duochrome. It's more... Oh no, actually, as I'm swatching it, I can definitely see that kind of greeny yellowy-ness to it. Definitely. I take it back. I'm sorry, NBA Cosmetic. I'm sorry. I just couldn't quite see it on my finger. But this is the kind of shade that I love. Bright blues. You guys know me. In love. Next is the shade Dreamscape from the Pastel Roses. And you can just see this here. What? Oh my God. It is just... what? Let's swatch this here. Wow. This is such a vibrant pink to blue. Eee, look at it. It is absolutely insane. Look at how gorgeous that is. Super high shine again. See, this one, Marooned, is definitely like a topper. It's quite sheer. But then Pastel Roses also do these kind of shades that are just wham-pam pigment in your face. And I just love them. I actually missed one from NBA Cosmetics. This is Bon Appetit. Again, that kind of spooky season theme. Oh, I feel like this might replace Marooned. This is what that one looks like. I got some of another shade in it. But that is also a blue to kind of purpley. This is definitely more... I don't even know how to describe it. This is more like a primary blue. And this is more of like a tealy blue, I think. Can you see that? But it does have a slight bit of purple in it. Again, it's quite sheer though. That's interesting. Alrighty-o then. We're coming to the home stretch now, guys. This is Amazonia from the Pastel Roses. And it is, again, one of those very, very smooth shades. And it is a classic, I think, blue to green. Oh my God, I'm running out of room again. How is this happening? I have so many beautiful duochromes. I'm not complaining. So this is what that shade looks like. You can definitely see the flip there. How stunning, how gorgeous. Look at that. This I need to play around with more. I forget that these exist. Just this like row here. Stunning. This is a bit of me, guys. Next we have Skyfall, again from the Pastel Roses. Oh wow. You can see, hopefully, the purple and blue and greeniness in this. Can I fit this in frame? Yeah, I can. Boom. You can definitely see the purple here, and then it kind of goes to like a very vibrant blue, almost like a teal. I love that so much. One of my favorite shades for sure. I did say earlier on, I don't normally go for super dark shades, but again, this is one of those, it has a dark base, but then it goes really light, and that's what I like. I don't like super dark shades. Like, this is a little bit dark for me, this shade up here, but this just goes so light and beautiful. I love it. Okay, NBA Cosmetics. If you've got it, haunt it. I love these names. Let's swatch that one there. This is like a teal. Oh, I don't know. How would you describe this? It's like, it has got a little bit of a blue hint to it. Maybe a bit of a purpliness, but it's definitely like bright forest green. I find that some of these NBA Cosmetics shades, it is a little bit hard to see the duochrome in it, but I don't know. Who knows? Next is Caribbean from the Pastel Roses. We're nearly there, guys. I promise. We're nearly there. But look at this. I'm going to swatch it up here. Boom. Are you kidding me? That is insane. This is like a teal to kind of like a greeny yellow almost. Can you see that? It has, again, not got that much of a base to it. It is definitely more like shimmery and shiny. Absolutely love that. Next, NBA Cosmetics Squad Ghouls. And I am going to go to another finger now because, yeah, it's bad. So I'm going to go with this finger. Well, that's very similar, actually. Look at that. You can definitely see the duochrome in there. This is definitely more of a blue to like yellowy green. I really do love that. That is beautiful. This video is just reminding me of how many gorgeous shades I have in my collection. Okay, we have one more. This is the last one. This is Beetle from the Pastel Roses. And this is what I mean when I say blue to brown. Okay, this is what I mean. Are you ready? Look at that. That was not a very good swatch on my part. I'm very, very sorry. Look at that. This has some shine. This has some blue, but it also has that like browniness to it. Look at that. Love it. I actually replaced the blue-brown duochrome in my Natasha Denona mini star palette with this. That's why there's not much in this pan, because this is just so much better. Natasha Denona, do this. So there we are. This, all the duochromes. I should have done the other palettes on this arm, so I could have just like shown you all of them. But this is what we are looking like. Look at this. Wow. Love, love, love. And then we can finally put this palette to the side. Guys, that was so long. I've been filming for 51 minutes. Holy moly. If you have survived this long, you are a trooper. Look at my hands. I'm going to have a long shower tonight because I'm covered in glitz and glamour, but I'm actually okay with it. I'm not mad at all. So I will not keep you any longer, guys. This has been such a long video. If you did enjoy this video, like and subscribe because honestly, it would mean the world to me. As I said, I'm still pretty ill, so this video was... It was being procrastinated, not gonna lie, but I've done it. I have succeeded. And I'm so happy with all of these beauties. All right, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna wash all these off and I'm gonna have a nice chill night. Have an amazing day, guys. Like and subscribe, and I will see you for a new video very, very soon. Okay, bye-bye.